II is a powerful lady who has an impressive fortune. But have you ever stopped to think about how this monarch lives? In this video, you will find out all about Queen Elizabeth's luxurious life. Before we get started, I challenge you. You have to click on subscribe and activate notifications, check the option all. But you have to do that in less than 5 seconds, you got it? And if you can, write in the comments #allaboutSubscribe. Alright, let's get started. Career. Born in 1926 in London, capital of the United Kingdom, Elizabeth Alexandra Mary is the constitutional monarch of 16 nations that make up the kingdom community, including the United Kingdom, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, Jamaica, and the Bahamas, among others. Coming from a royal cradle, with her parents being Prince Albert and her mother Duchess Elizabeth, the young woman did not imagine that she could one day become queen, since in the line of succession the one who would assume the throne was her uncle Edward VIII. However, he gave up the crown and moved to the United States. So Elizabeth's father took over and gave her the chance to become monarch one day. As the oldest daughter in her family, she ascended the throne at the age of 25, and has been in that position to this day, almost completing 70 years in power. She is the first British monarch to remain longest on the throne, making history in the country and the world. And with such power and relevance, Queen Elizabeth has lived a life of comfort and luxury. Luxury residences. The world's most famous queen, Elizabeth II, owns several impressive palaces to live a very comfortable life. One of her main residences is Sandringham Manor, located in Norfolk County, UK. The estate has been in the royal family for 4 generations, and upon the death of her father, the Queen inherited the impressive 20,000-acre lot, which is surrounded by lawn and gardens. Inside the mansion, it is possible to observe the meticulous details of the decoration. In the dining room, for example, there are light green walls, impressive Spanish tapestries, and a fireplace and dining table made of mahogany. Wallpapers, wooden furniture, paintings of the royal family, sumptuous chandeliers, walls and ceilings with plaster moldings make all the difference in the rooms. Queen Elizabeth usually spends Christmas and New Year's Eve at this property, and it is even possible to imagine her walking through these historic rooms. The incredible palace is open to visitors at certain times of the year, and you have to pay £85 to see a few rooms inside, and to get an idea of the magnitude of this property. Some sources estimate that it is worth around $65 million. Another property that belongs to the Queen's private portfolio is Balmoral Castle, located on Royal Deeside in Scotland. Being a Scottish baronial architecture, the palace started to be built in 1390, but was only finished in 1856. The 20,000-acre site is the family's summer retreat, where they raise a variety of animals, plant a variety of vegetable orchards, and the many gardens scattered around the property are very well cared for by up to 100 staff. Unlike Sandringham Palace, this castle is not open to the public, to preserve more of the Queen's intimacy. And for this reason there are no photos of its interior. Visitors are only allowed to see the surrounding gardens, and it is even possible to stay in the small cottages built in the castle's extensive backyard, for daily rates of over £1,000. But just looking at it from the outside, you can already imagine the luxury that it is inside. And it is no wonder that this vacation home of Queen Elizabeth is valued at an impressive $140 million. Other palaces. Queen Elizabeth, as the current monarch of the United Kingdom, can enjoy several estates spread over the extensive national territory. This billion-dollar property portfolio is called the Crown Estate, which is under the Queen's control only for as long as she occupies the reigning throne. Therefore, she cannot sell or make a profit on the properties, but nothing prevents her from enjoying the perks of these properties. An example of this is Windsor Castle, a royal residence located in Berkshire, England, United Kingdom. It is the largest and oldest occupied castle in the world, which was built in the 11th century. and has since been home to 39 monarchs. Currently, the Queen spends most of her private weekends at this location. Anyone can enter the palace and see the emblematic rooms where great historical decisions took place. The decoration is extremely luxurious, with a strong presence of the royal color red, hand-painted ceilings with ornamental plaster, and lots of gold-plated furniture. The Queen's official residence and main workplace is Buckingham Palace, one of the greatest British symbols and a major tourist attraction in the capital London. The palace covers 830,000 square feet, has an impressive 775 rooms, and the decor is very similar to Windsor Castle. This incredible castle is also often a spot for significant national celebrations and commemorations, where Elizabeth often hosts important figures, and the estimated value of the Queen's home is a staggering $5 billion. In total, the Crown Estate that is under Elizabeth II's rule has several properties in central London, the countryside, as well as 55% of the UK's seashore, and some sources estimate that these properties together are worth £14.1 billion sterling, or $18.7 billion. Luxury cars. The world's oldest and best-known queen, commonly known as Queen Elizabeth II, has several luxury vehicles at her disposal, and those who think that only her private drivers drive them are mistaken. The Queen Mother also likes to be in control of the steering wheel. She has, for example,
Okay, so today I'm talking about this
2001 Daimler Super V8, which was auctioned in 2017 for approximately $56,000. Elizabeth also owns a collection of Land Rovers. Among them, the Queen has already paraded around her country with a custom-built 2015 Landaulet model, which has an open rear. Another even more sophisticated vehicle is a Bentley Bentayga, a 600-horsepower SUV that costs around $460,000. Elizabeth also once owned a 1955 Rolls-Royce Phantom 4, which was auctioned in 2018 for an impressive $1,039,000. One of the most iconic and luxurious vehicles that the Queen likes to use at important events is her Bentley State Limousine, custom-made for her, and according to some sources, because it has several exclusive amenities, this royal car is valued at £10 million sterling, or $13 million. Truly, Elizabeth II has an impressive car collection. Plane. Imagine running the great power that is the United Kingdom for almost 70 years. And it is because her position is so important that Queen Elizabeth II has a very comfortable life. To transport herself more safely and quickly, the monarch makes use of a private plane to fulfill her schedule of appointments. She often uses the Royal Air Force Voyager, an aircraft that also carries fuel and is able to refuel directly from the air. And that is why it is an impressive 58 meters long. Nicknamed Vespina, the plane can carry more than 150 passengers, and a recent paint and maintenance overhaul cost about £900,000 sterling, the equivalent of $1.2 million. This is not counting the refurbishment carried out on the aircraft in 2016 that cost £10 million, $13.2 million. Having access to an aircraft like this is literally for those who live like a queen. Luxury items. Queen Elizabeth is always in the global media spotlight, and absolutely nothing is left out when it comes to spending and luxuries. The monarch is always seen, for example, wearing Launer handbags, and for different occasions and looks, she uses a different model. Some sources claim that she owns more than 200 handbags of the British brand, and the models she uses the most are the Traviata, which costs around $2,600, and the Royale, $3,100. Another stewardship that Elizabeth has access to is a private ATM to withdraw money whenever she wants inside her house. One of the most enviable things about Queen Elizabeth is her large jewelry collection. Her varied tiaras, for example, are the most eye-catching jewelry with their numerous precious stones. She owns, for example, a Burmese Queen Elizabeth ruby tiara that has 96 ruby stones and is valued at around $7 million. Another emblematic jewel is the imperial crown, made of gold and composed of sapphires, emeralds, pearls, rubies, and an impressive 1.3 kilograms of diamonds. And some say that to have such a crown made you need to invest $4.5 million. But of course the Queen's original crown is worth far more for its historical value. And Elizabeth's entire vast collection of more than 300 jewels, including brooches, earrings, necklaces, and wands, is estimated to be worth $3.5 billion. Art collection. Another valuable material asset that is currently under Queen Elizabeth's care is the giant royal art collection, one of the most important in the world and one of the last European collections to remain intact. Spread across several castles and palaces in the UK, the 270,000 works of art can be appreciated by the public. There are more than 600 drawings by Leonardo da Vinci there, and at least 20 drawings by Michelangelo. And some sources claim that the royal family's art collection is valued at a staggering £10 billion, which converts to $13.2 billion. Fortune. Many people, used to having presidents to represent their people, have difficulty knowing how much and how Queen Elizabeth, the monarch of the United Kingdom, earns money. For those who don't know, she has her fortune divided into two segments: her personal investments that are independent from her reign, and also her income coming from her work as queen. Although her personal wealth is not 100% known, some sources estimate that she inherited from her family a patrimony of hundreds of millions of dollars that are divided between her jewelry, investments, and castles. Besides inheriting, Elizabeth also knows how to make her money multiply. Among the Queen's personal sources of income are her investment in horse racing, having made $775,000 from competitions in 2016 alone. Her personal real estate portfolio, which includes the Duchy of Lancaster, which has over 18,000 acres of land, and made a profit of $27 million in 2019 alone. But Elizabeth II is also paid to represent the United Kingdom, and her salary is called the Sovereign Concession. This money is paid only once a year and is equivalent to 25% of the Crown Estate Fund's income, while the other 75% goes to the British Bank. The last sovereign grant received by the royalty was about $120 million, which the family uses exclusively for official expenses, which include payroll, security, travel, cleaning, and maintenance costs. But contrary to what many people think, maintaining the royal family and all the perks of the crown doesn't just generate expenses for the UK. In fact, it moves a lot of money mainly through tourism. Before the pandemic, for example, the crown contributed $2.7 billion to the public coffers. In other words, the royal family, rather than making a loss, actually brings a lot of profit to the UK. And according to Forbes magazine, at the age of 95, Queen Elizabeth II has amassed a personal estate of $500 million, an amount that is even considered.
Come baby, come make a Snapchat. Breakfast in bed now. Kimali, I'm gonna send a video to Kimali.
I'll make you better.
I really like you. I'm gonna send a video to Kimali, and I'm gonna send it to Kim. You see me? It's a nice person. What your cousin name and your sister name again? Kim?
Cousin.
Kim. Out and bad now. See? Breakfast in bed now.
I got your bacon.
I got the
I'll
cheese.
make you better.
And I'm sure I make no bacon still.
Every time. Hey.
Shall I make a pork sandwich for Rastaman in Manchester?
No, we don't.
Thank
We
you.
don't eat meat. We're vegan.
First stop on the phone.